We have a lot of serious business to talk about today because in the month of May, I encountered some very bad news that I am working on transforming into good news, and that's what we're gonna get into today, so let's go. If you're new here, what a weird note to start on, but hi, nice to meet you. I'm Hannah Bowers, singer, songwriter, and coach for creatives. And this is a series where I report to you all about updates on my creative growth, my favorite thing to talk about. So I was supposed to update you on the month of May, which leaked into the month of June because, and here's the bad news we've all been waiting for, all my hard drives broke. Not one, not two, but yes, 3 different external hard drives that carried all of the data of all of my creative projects I've ever created in my adult life gone. If you know me, but it's also safe to assume, I've done a lot of creative projects. I'm talking hundreds and hundreds of songs. Luckily, there's a good amount of songs that I have released. I won't be able to get back into those projects, which is a bummer. I don't necessarily need to, but it would be nice to be able to look back at that. But besides that, there are, like I said, hundreds of songs that I poured hours of my life into, blood, sweat, tears, heart, and soul, working the hardest that I could work to create, and it's just all gone. I'll never hear them again. And yes, it's incredibly sad, and it's been a very hard pill to swallow. And my first thought after this experience was, I have nothing to show for the amount of work that I have put in over the last 10 years. And I could commit to that story because in some ways it's true, and it is a very heavy loss. However, looking at things that way is simply not helpful. And that's just my philosophy on life, that things don't happen to you, they happen for you. And you can tell me that that's a load of baloney, because how could some terrible things ever be good for me or good for someone? And you know, I've been through a lot of terrible things in my life. And that perspective of seeing those things as have happened for me, it makes things feel better, it makes it easier to accept. And I've also seen evidence of it in my life, that I've been through some really hard things so that I could learn from them and heal from them and grow from them so that I can help other people do the same thing. I could never exactly say that I am happy about any of the terrible things that have happened in my life or that things that I felt or experienced, but I can say that I am happy about all of the lessons that I learned from that. Those things taught me how to love myself. They taught me how to heal. They taught me how to be alone and create a relationship with myself. They taught me how to have vulnerable, open relationships, about forgiveness, which is an incredibly hard lesson to learn in life. And I am so grateful to have learned all of those things, even if I had to go through awful things to have that. And that's been the common theme for me this month, is taking pain and transforming it into something purposeful. Allowing yourself to learn from it, asking yourself, how is this helping me grow? What is this teaching me? And hypothetically speaking, let's just all entertain this idea for a moment, but what if everything in the world was constantly working out in your favor, even if it didn't seem like it? In that world, if something awful happened to you, you would understand that there was a good reason for it, and you would use it as a tool for your own growth. So it's not that bad things don't happen, but we have a choice for what we do with them. And that's easier for some of us than others. And I have so much empathy and patience for those that it's hard for. You could hear that statement and think that I just don't get it because I'm not you. I haven't been through the things that you've been through. There's no way I could understand. There's a lot of things that I don't understand, and there's a lot of pain that I'll never have to go through. There's a lot of privilege and upper hand that I have. All those things are true. And knowing that does make it hard for me to share my thoughts and my feelings about this, because I do hear some voice in my head that responds to that and says, who are you to tell me that I have a choice of how to look at this? So I don't offer it as the cold, hard truth. I offer it gently as a suggestion. And if you find that it works for you, amazing. And if it doesn't, respect. But if you have the option to view things differently, if you have any inkling, any shred of hope and open-mindedness, then follow that feeling. If you're lucky enough to have that peace inside of you, be grateful for it. I think I had that little spark of hope in me always, but it was buried very deep for a very long time. And it's taken persistent, diligent, daily commitment and practice to get myself to a place that I can view things this way. And it's not easy to view the world that way when you are in a great deal of pain, so much pain that all you can see is pain. But if you do have it in you, you can start to view the world and bad things that happen as just uncomfortable teachers that are here with a valuable lesson. And I think that that's better than viewing the world as pain just for the sake of it, or pain for no reason at all, or even worse, pain because the universe is out to get you. If you got to choose how you view the world, how would you want to view it? I think that's a big question that I just want to invite you to sit with for a second. If you got to choose, and then what comes up when you hear those words? Does it tell you that you don't get to choose? Does it tell you that you are a certain way, you have always been a certain way, that you will always view the world a certain way? I viewed the world in a very negative light for an incredibly long period of time. I used to think that I would never truly be happy. I used to think that life was just incredibly painful all the time in an inescapable way. And if it wasn't painful, then I was upset because then it just felt meaningless. And if you had told me when I was in the thick of a perspective like that, that I had a choice to view things differently, which I'm sure my therapist tried to subtly tell me many times, I would not have understood it. I probably would have gotten mad at you, saying that you don't get me. And I think that that's where that voice in my own head comes from, is there's still a part of me that's holding on to this story of I don't get to choose how I view the world. But I do practice every day. I try to remind myself that what if I did have a choice for how to view things? If I get to create my rule book of beliefs on what is true and right in the world and the perspective that I see the world through, what would those beliefs be? Because there's no right or wrong way to view the world. Who is anyone to tell you that the way that you view the world is incorrect? Who am I to tell you that the way that you view the world is incorrect? Unless it harms you or others, I think that there is no right or wrong way. So it's up to you. What do you want to do with that? Identify those beliefs and then start to try to find evidence that it's true, because that's what your brain wants. Your brain is always trying to convince you that you're right. It's always looking for evidence that yes, the beliefs that you hold are correct. It's very nice in that way. It wants you to be right. But if you are not consciously and intentionally choosing beliefs that create a world that you feel good in, your brain's not really looking out for you. Your brain is trying to confirm those beliefs. Something that I like to do is in the mornings, I like to write down what beliefs I want to have about myself and the world that day. And I do it before I open social media. I do it before I look at my messages. I do it before I go to any external thing that might subconsciously inform me on what beliefs that I have about the world or what beliefs can be true that day. I like to wake up and meditate and be in this state of anything could be possible right now. And if anything is possible, how am I going to look at the world? And I'm sharing all of this with you because I have been through this transformation myself. And I feel like if I share that, then I might inspire or influence somebody else to see that that is possible for them. Because I know that there are millions of people out there who are in pain and think of the world as just a painful or meaningless place. And it takes a lot of inner work and energy when there are constantly bad things happening and constantly headlines that are triggering you and stressing you out. And you see, wow, the world must be a painful, awful place because all these things are happening all the time. But you can affect that world. You can see yourself as powerful and a change maker and a creator of the world that you want to see. You get to participate. You get to have a voice. You get to have an influence on the world around you. And that's why art is so powerful, because art shows us that we can create whatever we want. And then we can work with others that share our vision and believe in us and make us feel good about it and show us what's possible. And together we can bring this beautiful vision to life. And then we can share that vision with other people. And then they can see that that's possible for them too. And when that process is shared and when that final product is shared, it's more beautiful and it makes life feel a little bit easier. So some of you are thinking, damn, Hannah, you really went deep after 3 hard drives malfunctioned. You went all the way there. And yeah, I did. But seriously, if this inconvenience in my life inspired me to make a video talking about my authentic thoughts and beliefs about all these things, and then that positively affected somebody that's watching this, then that's a gift. And after all of this, I realized that I don't think I need a physical, tangible thing to show as proof of the hard work that I've done on something. I know what I'm capable of. I know what I've learned. I'm proud of everything that I've been through. I feel that on the inside. And then if I've inspired somebody, that is success to me. That being said, I'm really excited to work on new music and actually share music again. And if you're an artist and you've been sitting on some work that you haven't shared and it's on your hard drive right now, pretend like the threat of that hard drive breaking is the fire under your butt that you need to release that. Do it for me, do it for you, do it for the world. You deserve to share your art deserves to be heard. So I'm gonna leave you on that for this month, and we'll see what happens next month. Thank you for listening. I know this is a very deep conversation, perhaps unexpected, and I feel like this channel is becoming a lot more about the deeper parts of creative growth than any specific creative project. But once again, that is just where I'm at in my creative journey, and that is valid and valuable, so I embrace it. If you don't know me up until this point though, you're gonna be like, does she even like do any art at all? Like, I swear to God, I'm writing songs all the time. You can check my phone, check my notes app. I'm writing all the time, don't worry. I'm writing all the time and then it's getting deleted, so. But I think that that means that whatever music that I make next is way more important than any of the maybe half-assed attempts to do that in the past. That whatever I was working on before, it doesn't matter, because what I'm going to create in the future is what's important. And that is the way that I'm going to choose to look at this situation. Thanks for sticking around. You're awesome. Let me know where you are in your creative journey below. I'll see you next time. Take care and peace out.
My brain's broken.